Det er stor højt for os alle sammen, men det er, hvad der sker.
G2 and Astralis even failing to make it to the major is a disaster. For Astralis, it's the first time in this organization's history, and especially for an organization that's known to have been the greatest team of all time, to not be at the major is crushing, although not necessarily unexpected with how Astralis has been going. There's not one thing you can point to that went wrong for Astralis. I think this is the culmination of a series of either mistakes or missed opportunities over the past few years. And I think they, along with many teams, have struggled to kind of get to the new generation and the new era of Counter-Strike that's being played by most teams today. For G2, this is a complete disaster. Every move they've made, G2, over the past, two years or so, has been made to get to the major, to lift a major trophy. That was the express goal of the team when players like Nico and when players like Modesty joined the roster. So to not be there for them, it's soul-crushing. I think that's just a team that has always struggled with mentality issues. They have all the pieces. I don't think there's a whole lot of things that you could change in that lineup to make them, on paper, head and shoulders above where they are now. I think for G2, hitting this lowest point needs to be a moment of real reflection and coming back and not taking anything for granted, because now that they've had this ripped out of their hands, there's no way you can take anything for granted. Even with having one of the best players, that's not good enough in today's game of Counter-Strike. So the implication is that they need to come back with a completely different focus on the game and how they approach and prepare and practice and everything. I think for Astralis, the implications are it's time to rethink the approach. It's time to rethink the approach of how they've built this lineup and where exactly the lineup can go. I think for Astralis, they're going to look back at not trying to go and pick up some of the Copenhagen Flames players when that lineup blew up. And obviously, too, you have the controversy before the RMR even begins. Missing config at this event is a huge heartbreak. So I think you have mistakes on both the level of management in terms of how the roster has been managed, and also mistakes, obviously, from a star player that has put this team into a really difficult scenario, even trying to qualify for the major. So for them, it's just disaster scattered all over the place. The beautiful thing about Counter-Strike and the beautiful thing about this qualifying process and getting to IEM Rio is, while we get to see all the pain and the loss and the heartbreak of one team, you flip that coin over and it's the jubilation and the joy and the success and the release for the team that qualifies, and for the team that coming into this event, nobody felt had it in them to create this kind of an upset. And you can really see the impact that has on young players and a young roster and a young team to finally have that accomplishment underneath their belt.